Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm Benjamin Davies and this is Maker's Journey Workshop. And today, we're making cup hooks and S hooks. We're gonna go over a couple different ways to show you how to make these real simple. And you guessed it, we're starting with, and we're also gonna start out with cup hooks with about a 41-inch length. And we're gonna show you how to get multiple hooks out of this one bar, negating your need for tongs. This is just a really nice way to work around some things. If you hadn't noticed in our past videos, trying to show you how to get a few things done without having a whole lot of tools. Another workaround is, and I'm sure I'll catch some flack for this, and that's okay, but I use them starting out, and it got me started, and I'm okay with that. These guys, they're not tongs. They are going to leave teeth marks really easy in hot steel. But if you don't have a set of tongs starting out, you don't have the confidence or the ability to make a set, buy these. Use these to hold on to your metal for your shorter pieces until you can afford to buy a nice set of tongs. There's no shame. Get your reps in, okay? Use them, whatever. Somebody's making fun of you, that's fine. Tell them, let them make fun of you from the couch. But first, to make these consistently and quickly, you're gonna need some tools. I know what you're thinking. Ben, I don't have a welder. I'm not a tool maker. If I need tools, I go to Lowe's. Well, tell me how many Blacksmith tools you see at the big box hardware store. I'll wait. That's right, there aren't any. Good luck. We're gonna make these guys, and it's a pretty complicated process if you'll pay attention right here. Yeah, and as you can see, I did that first one cold, and this is 1-inch OD, that means outside diameter. It's either 11 or 13 gauge wall. And this one is schedule 41-inch, which means I'm pretty sure the inside is a 1-inch diameter, and it's got a much thicker wall. Schedule 80, thicker wall. And I actually did that one hot. Different sizes, different shapes, real easy way to get you a fixture in the vise. So when you stick that pipe in there, it doesn't turn around. And then you can use it with vice grips. Just make it work. All right, let's get started. Question. Why do you cool your tip like that before you hit it over the edge of the anvil? That's a great question. I do it so I don't crush that little scroll. And I usually never actually go to my quench tank, but I'm doing this in a much slower fashion so I can break it down and explain it for y'all. I'll usually leave my scroll not completely closed up. And then on that last strike, as I bend this area right here over the edge of the anvil, it'll close that scroll up, and it usually turns out 90% of the time how I want to. I don't always get it right. There's ways to fix it. You just learn those, and that's half the tips and tricks of learning how to be a decent blacksmith. Another thing I've noticed, and you'll notice this if you look at manufactured style scrolls that you see on trellises and things like at the big box hardware stores, it'll be flat right here, perfectly straight. That's how the scroll starts, and that's because they stick it in the machine cold and they roll it up. If you don't start this bend right here, before you go over to your jig, you'll have a flat spot right there, and it's just ugly. It sticks out like a sore thumb. It'll tear you up. And so there's a bunch of little nuances to doing these things that are going to teach you a whole lot of skills really quickly at the edge of the anvil without having to beat on huge chunks of steel, spend a lot of money on propane, and just kill yourself learning out. So when cutting with the chisel at the anvil, you want to go slow and take your time. And you want to make sure not to do this. Yeah, that's dangerous. It can shoot out anywhere. Luckily, I've got a big shop and I'm usually filming alone. Instead, do this. Yep, goes much slower. You want to kind of get to that point and then break it off. Unless you're just set up and you've got your backboard and you can just Kobe it in there. Another thing that nobody ever talks about, and it's really cool to do chisel work, but I will see people cut out things with chisels sometimes, and they will spend several heats and several hours at the anvil, slowly cutting with a chisel, with something they could have done as quickly with a bandsaw or an angle grinder. I'm not saying these skills aren't important. I'm not saying don't learn them and don't practice them. But what I am saying is if you're going to do a lot of batch forging or production forging, or you're just trying to learn, don't get too hung up on just wailing away to chisel at the anvil. The idea is to learn how to do everything, not just one thing, okay? So that's just my take on it. Many of you may disagree. I think chisel work is important. But if you're just looking at chisels for cutting, I think there's a lot better options out there in 2024 than just a chisel while it's hot. Just me. You decide. All right, so our next thing is S-hooks. It's gonna be basically the same process, but you're just gonna start out with 3 different lengths instead of working off one long bar. I usually say right around 10 inches, 12 inches, 15 inches, you know, small, medium, large. Going to be our strongest S hook right here. It's our medium S hook, and the reason that it's so strong is because we flattened this part out. We're getting ready to show you right here. If you try to bend this bar, this is a piece of flat bar, I think it's 1/8. It's really hard to bend this way on the flat, but if you take it this way where it's flat, it's really easy, right? Just something to think about. Nice workaround, I'll do this on corners sometimes when I just need a little bit more resistance but don't need a true square corner. And it looks kind of cool too. Enjoy, try it, take it, it's yours. It's not bad, is it, baby? You saw me? I know. I'm a beast. Yeah. Don't act like you're not in Hey, I just want to thank y'all so much for being here today. If you did enjoy this, please smash that subscribe button. It would mean the world to us. I know 1/4 inch may not seem very exciting starting out. It may seem kind of boring, really small, especially when you see guys out there making axes and other things. Understand, that stuff looks amazing, and it is fun, and we'll get to that. But one of the things that taught me the most whenever I first started out was my uncle. I went up to his shop, and we made the hardest thing there was to make, which was a dragon's head. It's terrible. I'll find it, and I'll show it to you on an upcoming video. And then he took me through and he showed me how to make smalls. And what I didn't realize what he was doing at the time was he was showing me how to get some reps in a way that wouldn't kill me, and that I could make some items that I could take to a farmer's market or wherever and actually start to be profitable from this trade. Pretty cool. Had no idea that's what he was teaching me at the time. So grateful for those lessons. So I encourage you, 1/4 inch bar, it is cheap, it heats up quick. You will not burn through a lot of propane. If you're lucky enough to have a propane forge, you can stick 2 or 3 bars in there on a Saturday. Let's see, 2 or 3 bars in that forge on a Saturday, 4 feet long, and you can learn a whole lot by the time you get to the other end of those bars if you're really paying attention. Start out with one, keep that one, set it aside, focus really hard on that one, and then by the time you get to 100, 200, 1,000, reevaluate that 1,000th hook. Tell me what it looks like. Think about what you've learned. I know for me, there's a whole lot of learning in between there, and this allowed me to do that learning pretty quickly. Again, thank y'all so much for being here, and we'll see you at our next YouTube video. Smash that subscribe button. You like what I said about the chisel? You agree with me too? I know, and I know it's rough on your top, baby. You know I'm looking out for you. Get out of here, gosh. So how do you think? You think it went well? You think they like it? No, I can't hear him talking underneath you. No, I know. You were here first. I totally get it. Your proportions, baby. Perfect. Someone even say that you're a banging anvil. You know what I'm saying? Smash that subscribe button. Tell me how many blacksmith tools tell me how many blacksmith, ba-deep.